Hi Capricorn, welcome to your November 2019 reading. Thank you so very much for being so patient. I know it's middle of the month, right? But I am here and so are these lovely messages. So if this reading resonates with you, my dear, whether you are Capricorn or not, cross-watcher or not, or whether you're watching in November of 2019, it doesn't matter. If you're anybody and this reading resonates for you, then it's for you. Then if you're resonating with this reading, you may be, I'm just seeing a lot of dreams. It's like a lot of dreams covered out here, covered in this reading. See the word aspiration, and I'm just seeing a lot of dreams here. So I feel that in the month of October or in some of the autumn months, you may have gone through some kind of tower moment or some kind of realization is what I'm hearing. Something happened where there was an obstruction for you. Now this could be an obstruction in a relationship for which you feel that you still haven't had justice for, or because whatever this is, I feel that you may have gone through a moment where something just seemed to slip right through your hands. Now this is reading for October. I mean, this is a reading for November, but this thing that slipped through your hands, whether it's a relationship or a parent is what I'm hearing, or some kind of realization, something you thought you knew or you had down pat, just seemed to slip right through your hands and it just didn't pan out for you. And I'm feeling this could have happened in October, or it could have happened in one of the autumn months, you know, like even as far back as August. To me, August is not summer. I know that's ridiculous to say that, but I don't have associations of August being summer for me personally, so I think of it more in line of autumn. So it could be something that reaches as far back to August, but autumn in general. And feeling for you, obviously this would have been a tower moment, but this is who I see you as today. So as today, you seem to be coming across as doing really well. Please excuse the lighting as well. It's a little bit dark here, but you seem to be doing really well in many ways. You've come into better realization about a lot of stuff. Yes, there are still some things unknown, and yes, there are still some things that might catch you a little bit off guard. However, I do see you as being in a better place than before. I think that this thing that slipped through your hands, if it hasn't happened yet for you, that you have found that you didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, it's going to happen for you in the month of November. In other words, it's something very real slipped through your hands, but when you looked closer, you saw that something else was there in return. And so it's like you had to lose something to gain the world, is what it seems like. In fact, let me go ahead and title, that might be your title. Let's see how this goes. Hold on, let me write that down. Clickety clack. Right, my typing. All right, so you had to lose something really big for you, really important for you in order to gain the world. Now, what I'm seeing is what it is that was left, that was distilled from there. What was left after this obstruction was something that really touched your heart and something to which you are now devoted utterly. So this could be a passion project. It could be, that's why I'm seeing aspirations. It could be dreams. What you lost could have been a relationship. I'm hearing the words racetrack for somebody. So somebody watching may have lost some kind of race or something. But whatever it is, guys, I feel that what was left behind is something intangible, like a passion, like a realization that you are enough, or like a renewed sense of self, or maybe you have nothing else but you still have a roof over your head. Whatever this is, I feel that you are now in a place of devotion for that. I'm also seeing a spiritual decree. So whenever this card pops up in my readings, it usually speaks to an energy that you could be coming into where you're being asked to make a choice. Make a choice. It's so funny. I was looking for my watch and I was wearing it. You may be asked to make a choice for yourself about what to move forward with. Now, that being said, we see, so far I see a missed opportunity, something slipping through your hands and you being really devastated about it. I'm seeing you then coming into realization that you have something of value that was left behind. Imagine a gold nugget after you thought you were getting a whole bunch of stuff, and then it was shaken out and you're like, no, and then you saw a gold nugget, right? So you're realizing something of value was there. I'm also seeing the energy of you now being in a much better place, you being able to see the value in whatever it is that happened for the most part, even though you may have your moments. And another message that I'm seeing coming in is this idea of perception and projecting. So in the month of November, if October and autumn were the months of obstruction, right, or offering, that obstruction was actually an offering for something better, right? Because I'm seeing that here. In the month of November, it's going to be about reflection. I'm hearing wandering and reflection. So let's take a look here. So, you know, when you're reflecting upon something, it's really important to consider the perceptions that you have, right? So I'm seeing you reflecting in the month of November on this thing that happened, this thing that slipped through your hands. And I gotta be honest, for a lot of you, it does read like a love relationship. It could be really very well be. And I think that you're going to be called to really look at it from a different perspective and consider it like, what actually happened? It's also for you to own your projections, right? It's like, oh my God, this person was stolen from me and this, that, and then you realize, oh, well, I never really had this the person that I wanted never really showed up for the relationship, and how could I be upset if I never had him in the first place, and all those kinds of things. I'm seeing and hearing a car dealership situation again. Maybe a contract fell through and something you thought you had in the bag, maybe you got angry at a coworker who swooped in and stole, you know, that contract, whatever it is. That also could translate for a romantic contract. You had somebody swoop in and steal that contract. But then you look at it, maybe it wasn't something that you were seeing clearly to begin with in the first place. And I know that's a hard thing to swallow, as I'm seeing here, but it's a necessary part of the healing process. You know, when you've got a rash, you've got some symptoms, or you've got a deep wound, it's important to look at, well, what caused the wound? And sometimes you have to look into the wound itself, and no one wants to do that, right? Because you know why? No one wants to look in and realize that I've been holding on to something and it was never mine to begin with, because it means that there was a mistake and error, right? I mean, a mistake in judgment, an error in judgment, and that's a hard pill to swallow. It really is, and I totally get that, guys. Now, I'm seeing this relationship, this caution here. So this tells me that there is going to be, for somebody here, or some of you, I'm hearing a temporary setback in a connection, because you're in a month of November, because there's going to be a need to stop and reflect upon something, if only for the sake of fixing something, understanding something, and then moving forward and continuing with the relationship from a better standpoint. But either way, it's about, for some of you, it's about a relationship needing to reflect on it. So yes, obviously some of you will still continue with this connection, but some of you will not, and it's just about sweeping up. I'm seeing the month of November is sweeping up the last bit of ash from the burning fires, and the embers have been pretty much put out. Now it's just like sweeping up the last bit of ash. And as you sweep up the last bit of ash, you're looking at the ash to kind of glean those last minute lessons. Let me get some water. I'm hearing some of you in that moment asking, why did it have to happen to me? Isn't it fair for it also to happen to the other people in this party? You know, I mean, for some of us, that's a call for justice. That's a call for witnessing our pain. Really, sometimes we are very invested in having justice because we are in pain, and we want to know that our pain is witnessed, because when our pain is witnessed and people can understand what we've been through, and we feel that they can feel the level of pain that we have, or that they could see that we're in pain, it's almost like we feel that them witnessing it will mean that we are valuable. Because when pain is not witnessed, it kind of carries this communication that you don't matter. Like, no one cares about what happened to you because you don't mean anything to me or this society or anybody. And, that's a very lonely place to be. I'm seeing this person here lonely and kind of alone, getting water from this small body of water here. And that can make us feel kind of like that isolated child again. So it goes back to a childhood wounding in many ways. Sometimes when justice is being withheld, and sometimes when people aren't there validating us and witnessing our pain, it's a moment for us to sit and really look at ourselves and really practice that self-soothing and that self-nurturing and needing to be our own salve, so to speak. And that's hard, because you have to be the child going through it, then you have to be the mother nurturing, then you have to be the father protecting, and it's like, how can you be all of these things for yourself? And in that moment, hopefully you will open up to spirit and you realize that you are never by yourself, you never have to go through it yourself, and you reach up and the soothing comes in and it helps you to, I guess, be better and to self-soothe. And it's like this external love, this force that down here we would look at you and say, oh my God, you totally are coming through this amazingly, you're working on yourself, you're healing yourself, you're soothing yourself. But you will know that actually that's a higher power, because without that higher power, how could you make it through this devastation? So I'm seeing that the month of November is going to be about wandering. It's going to be about reflecting. It's going to be about going inward. And it's going to be about connecting to that higher part of ourselves so that we can get that healing that we so desperately need. So I'm seeing that a lot of us in these winter months are being asked to take some time out. See this Buddha? It's very interesting, Capricorn, or whoever you are, because I'm seeing this idea of Buddha, 1, 2, 3, and 3 cards, and all these globes, these earths, like here's the earth, here's the earth, here's the earth, here's the earth, here's the earth. This image of the earth and this image of the Buddha is showing up quite a bit. These images are showing up quite a bit for you, and I really think that that's because you went through and are going through something very physical, and in that very physical obstruction that you went through, it was kind of like an offering that kind of put you on this path. It's losing something in order to gain the world. And in fact, you see these worlds here. Let me just read this offering card for you guys. This is, I'm picking up definitely in the autumn months, as far back as October. All right, it says, every day of our lives we take from Mother Earth our energy for life, yet we often forget the ancient tradition of the sacred giveaway. Take a moment to sit in silence and count the magnificent things you have in this life, even if only the wondrousness of being given life. What Spirit is saying here is that, or what I'm getting while I was reading that, is that yes, Spirit is saying we took something from you, we took everything from you. I'm seeing some of you may even have lost a place to stay. You're in a hotel or something. They took everything for you, motel that is, and they know that they gave you back what you would look at and say is nothing, right? Oh great, another TV dinner here in this motel, nobody to talk to, no one knows me, no one, oh great, I lost the love of my life and what I got back is quote unquote a passion. Wow. So they acknowledge that there has been what may appear to you to be an unequal give and take. It may be an unequal taking from you and a giving back to you of nothing, right? But what they're saying here is to take a moment to sit in silence and, I'm reading this again, count the magnificent things that you have in this life, even if only the wondrousness of being given life. So they're saying that even if you have nothing in your environment, or you can see nothing in your environment, but the fact that you're breathing, whereas today, at this very moment, at least thousands of people are taking their last breath, right? If all you have is that, and you're sleeping on the streets somewhere in some dark alley somewhere, and you don't even know how you're going to pass the night, but all you know is you have breath in your body, they're saying to acknowledge that, right? So continuing, they're saying, reflect on the great mother, Mother Earth. Ask yourself, what have I given back to her lately to heal her? Then think of the higher... Now I want to stop there because some of you may be like, wait, what have I given back to her lately to heal her? Dude, I've given everything. You've taken everything. You've given me a dream, and then you've taken it away, and you've given me nothing in return. How dare you say that I've given you nothing? When really what I'm seeing here is the question that should be is, what have I given back to her lately to heal me? So it's almost like needing to have a perspective shift, a shift in perspective, right? So if you've been following my daily readings, then you will notice that Spirit has been very vocal these days about perspective and how it changes everything, right? Now, this also asks you to acknowledge that whatever you've given away or what has been taken away, depending on how you look at it, is for your highest good, whether you can connect to that at this point or not. And so when you say, what have I given back to her lately to heal me? In that question, you're opening yourself up to Spirit, and you're acknowledging that whatever has been taken from you, or whatever you've quote unquote lost or has slipped through your hands, was meant to do so, and that it serves you. And you may not have a reason for that right now, but it's kind of your sacred duty to look for that reason. Try to understand why it is. Why was it taken from me? If it's for my good, if I know that I no longer have it, that's a fact. And if I can take it as a fact that losing it was for my highest good, these two premises, if you can take them as fact, should imply something, and they should imply the reason why. So it's your job to find out why it is that you lost whatever it is that you thought you lost. And I'm getting again this answer to gain the world, and I'm seeing you as just like this Magellan or like this Christopher Columbus, and I don't want you to connect to the political meanings of these people like, well, actually I heard he wasn't the first to, discover America. I don't care about all that. I'm just bringing him up because he was an explorer, all of these people who explored. That's what I'm seeing you as. You're gaining the world in response to you giving up this one thing, as big as it is. So let's continue. Then think of the higher vision of life and balance on this earth, and realize that the greatest gift you can give Mother Earth and your fellow humans is your own enlightenment. In other words, think about the greatest thing that you can give to yourself to help you reach this place of as above, so below kind of understanding, is that you can offer something that is not of your highest good anymore in exchange for something that is in your highest good, because that will bring you closer to understanding all that is, to understand yourself, to understand physical, non-physical, whatever it is, it's on your own path towards enlightenment. In this way, continuing here, you tear away the veils of ignorance and present the magnificence of your being to everyone who experiences you. Everyone around you is uplifted and is inspired. This is your offering. All right? So that's what I'm seeing. Of course, the card speaks of you being service to other people as you release and as you offer. But here, the way Spirit is bringing it through is that right now you're in a process of self. So again, in the autumn months, you may have lost something huge and of value to you, but you're giving that thing away to gain something of bigger value, and it's the world. In the month of November and in the winter in general, you're being asked to stop. See, Buddha, God bless him, is here. You're being asked to stop all processes, and you're being asked to turn to this issue of aspiration. So that's why I feel like a lot of you may have given up a relationship or given up on a relationship. Some of you gave it away. And I feel that what has been replaced or what has been found and left in its place is a connection to passion, is a connection to something that is for you, right? And so I want to read this card as well because it showed up like this. Aspiration stimulates power. It is your aim spiritually and physically in the world, and it involves the totality of your being. Without the balance between the physical and the spiritual, aspiration is a hollow accomplishment. It is like a spirit lodge that can hold space for your ceremonies and rituals. The spirit lodge must first have a strong foundation of capability. trust of those around you, and responsibility. Aspiration is what builds the spirit lodge of power. It is the quiet architect of your accomplishments, and it sits at the feet of power, just as the deer stands before the remnants of an ancient and powerful civilization come and gone. Oh, that's beautiful. Keep your heart open, kind, and loving so that the energy of the universe can move freely through you. As I'm reading this, I'm feeling a shift. So I'm feeling some timeline shifting happening here for some of you, okay? What do I mean by timeline shifting? I mean that whether you are aware of it or not, you're switching into another time frame, another reality altogether. So you may think that you're in the same reality that you were in when this obstruction happened, but actually whatever happened to you shifted you into another state of being, another track altogether, and things in your environment may seem similar, but soon you'll start to see the differences. A lot of you, I wouldn't be surprised if this relates to initiation, but I'm not necessarily feeling initiation here for everybody. Whatever it is that happened, it was just that strong that it completely shifted you into another time frame reality. I'm seeing another timeline. I'm seeing that here. Anyway, it is difficult to aspire without judgment, but judgment limits you, putting a fence around your consciousness. Give much consideration to all of your choices in life and a free flow to your process of aspiration. So this also speaks of giving birth, guys. So a lot of you, this is exactly what we're talking about, giving birth to something, right? And what was left behind, I think, is aspiration. It is a new form of consciousness. It is a realization. It is whatever it is. But it's your duty in the month of November to stop, to take stock of what you do have left, be positive. Yes, you may be living out of a motel, but I don't see that for long, right? Some of you will be coming out of this stage, whatever this stage of reflection and wandering is, by April. I'm seeing a few months, April, 4 to 6 months actually. Number 4 is also, excuse me, those are sneezes. Number 4 is significant here, so it could even be in the month of April. Think of that as you thawing off from this extended winter. Now, I'm also seeing computer coding. So either somebody here is computer driven or is going through some kind of licensing or lessons or something related to computers. I'm sensing that you have to continue on that journey, because I feel a lot of coding coming through. It's coming through my nose, my mind, everything. There is some quote unquote future energies that want to come through you, some future tech energies. So either you'll be coding in the future, doing some type of programming, but whatever your work is that you're going to be doing later on down the line is going to be fielding in energies from another I don't know what the word is. I'm going to say dimension because whatever, but it's going to be for the new earth energies, just new stuff coming in. And to us down here, you might be considered, oh wow, this person's really brilliant. Oh, this person's mind thinks differently. Oh, this person's trying to do different things with these tools, like teach us, show us. Like, it's just kind of that kind of energy. You are a portal, is what Spirit is saying. Oh, God bless you. You're a portal through which these energies are going to be coming. These coding energies. That's all I can say, codes. Computer codes is what it feels like. Now, I know we always talk about energetic codes, and, we talk about DNA upgrades and all that, but those codes feel a little different from this that I'm feeling. This feels very 0-1-y. 0 1s, 0 1s, and 0 0 0. Yeah, 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 1. That's what it's like. That's the kind of energy it feels like. And it looks like this color. This blue color with white. You often see that depiction of codes with zeros and ones coming through, and like light blue. The numbers are in light blue / white, and the background is in this darker blue, coming in as streams. That's what it is. It's a stream of consciousness that will be coming through you. You may already feel it. You'll know who this is for. You'll know who you are, by the way, because obviously you're doing coding and programming, and you'll feel a certain energy around you. Sometimes it's even possible that sometimes this energy will surround you a lot when you sit down to do the coding. Like, maybe you always feel this already, but when you are sitting down to study and to do whatever it is that you're doing, you might feel it come on even more. It might wash over you, or just might be present. You might be in the quote unquote zone, whatever it is. In those moments when you're connecting like that, you might find that you're alone. Like, you just might notice that you tend to work alone. When you sit down to work, people kind of move, whatever it is. Or maybe you're sitting in a quiet, secluded place to do whatever this thing is. That's because it's just the creative space. And sometimes when that high of a vibration comes through you, other people may not be in accord with that energy, and so they just naturally move away. Like, they'll get up, they'll remember they have something to do, or they decide I need to get lunch, or just whatever. And that being said, it makes me think of artists. You know how artists usually go off on their own and they do their stuff, they're in their own bubble. Some of them may have their own studio, they don't like to be addressed or bothered during that time. That's because they're in the zone. And what the zone is really is just a flow of energy and passion and all sorts of stuff, and it can't be obstructed. So a lot of times when they're working in that field, it's a field thing, it's something that enters the field and it builds within the field, that kind of takes them into another frequency in a sense, and so people will not be there, or they don't want people there, whatnot. It's just, I'm seeing that kind of energy here. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so thank you. I feel that this coding that's going to come in, thank you guys for being so patient, because this is information that needs to come in for this person. A lot of times, if you're listening and you're like, well, this seems like my story, but it's not about computers, then it's also for you. It's a universal energy. I feel that this coding that's going to come through is going to carry with it a little bit of a... First of all, let me say, it has a medical tint to it. So it's going to come in, it's neutral in that sense, but it's also going to be used in the medical field in some way, however this program comes in. But at the same time, I feel that in the wrong hands, it can be used nefariously, as with everything, all these tech things that come in for us guys. Guns, once used to help us get food and whatnot, now is being used to do all sorts of stuff, right? And the list of technology that has come through, oh my gosh, even even simple things like maybe even Facebook, or like something new that comes in can be used poorly if in the hands of the wrong people. But either way, it comes in, and I feel that somebody here is going to be a portal for that new tech code that is waiting to come in, all right? Right now they're in programming school, or they're doing something where they're learning new things. All right. Anyway, so thank you, Spirit. Thank you for that, God. That's that aspiration card here. So, anyway, back to the general reading. Okay, so let's take a look at the world, that thing that was left. So remember, you gave up something, guys, in order to gain the world. That thing that you lost, excuse me, that slipped through your fingers, when all was said and done, you found out that there was something left. For a lot of you, I do think this is an aspiration of some kind, a dream of some kind. You started to take to it, right? See, that's it left. It looks like a little bit like a pearl, right? Now, take a look at that world here. I feel that in the month of November and in the next few months, remember, I feel like by February for some, but by April, even, I think that you will be in a place where you're starting to come out of this glacial phase, so to speak, because this feels very much like a winter thing. See the pearl there? You're exploring your world right now. Remember, it's all about wandering and reflection in the month of November, but see, the world is there. But I feel that before you can even touch it and really get into that thing that was left behind, you're kind of exploring and wandering. You're giving context to yourself. You're understanding who you are. You're learning to love yourself. You're taking different perspectives. And look at the next card where the world is depicted. Eventually, as you get finally closer to looking at this world, or this thing, this learning, I'm hearing this ancient learning, what's the best word? This energy that has been given to you, this thing, whatever, the details are different for everybody. Look at how your world has changed. Before, like there you're seeing the world, and look at you wandering and reflecting. look what it gives way to. Look at this. This is you settling in. This is you having bounty. This is you understanding. This is you making beauty within your very own world. And now you're finally able, as this cute little butterfly, to lift off and to touch this new learning that has been given to you, right? So I feel that for right now, you're just kind of soothing yourself, getting into understanding what's going on, and you will be eventually coming into this world and being a force, so to speak. But you're all about learning right now. Look at the world now. It's put in its rightful place. Now, this very pearl that was left behind, this pearl of wisdom that was left behind, before you actually explored it, it has now been integrated. Things have been transmuted. Look how you're at peace. Now you're this peaceful Buddha. You can see the beauty in things. You function in the world differently as a result of it. I'm still seeing a little bit of loneliness for some of you, but you know that soon, look at these little flowers. It's almost like soon fruit will start to drop from them. You know that you've been going through some phase. You know that, I just saw it was 31 minutes and 13 seconds, so 3-1-1-3. That shows me like coming in and coming out the other end. It's like you know you've gone through something and you know that it's going to have value. And I feel like when you are exiting this stage, for some of you in February, for some of you in April, maybe March, you know, just up until those months, I feel that when you're exiting that stage, you'll be able to give someone something of value. Now, I'm still feeling someone in this motel situation. I feel that you too will have something of value to offer somebody, whatever that is. So again, people, don't look at your circumstances, whatever it is, because look at that integration. Now the pearl is the world, right? It's beautiful. It's interesting because now we're seeing something else out there. There could be more learning for you to have, guys, but from an elevated standpoint. Now take a look at this peaceful Buddha that you've become. Look how peaceful you've become in the midst of all of this, right? Look at the world. Now it's over you as your wisdom. Now, it's so interesting, guys, but to me, this looks like transmuting things. It's learning. It's beautiful, to be honest. Now, on the other side, it's almost like, when I see this, I always think of it as being the other side. See this cute little crane? God bless him. That's a crane, right? Right. Anyway, he's so cute. He's like, looking at that crystal, right? He's like, I want to be that one day. And it's kind of like, well, you have to go through this kind of learning. It's going to set your life on fire, but can you do it? And then you are down here, and you're going through that phase right now where you've lost something and you've gained some wisdom. The month of November, you're going to be delving into that wisdom, trying to understand, spending some time alone. I do see that, reflecting and wandering. This card almost looks like you here. Once the drop off has been made, that pearl is just kicking it there. You're not ready to look at it, and you're darn well not ready to look at how it relates to this world and blah blah blah. So you're just kind of wandering yourself, the canvas of yourself, learning about yourself. See, here you are spending time alone in this little world that you will be in, not the one that was given to you yet, not that wisdom, but soon, from all that wandering, your own canvas, your own self, you're going to be in a better place to truly look at whatever wisdom was given to you, and you're going to transmute that, and you're going to be in a better place to help other people and yourself. Take a look here, guys. It's cute. I'm getting the word almond. Almonds are so cute. I don't really like the taste of them as raw nuts, by the way, but they're adorable, and I'm just getting that word right now. But take a look here. You look like a cute little almond. I'm seeing that you're going to be protected during these months, these upcoming months of this reflection and this wandering. See, he's actually wandering. He's got his bag. And during this time where you are trying to dive into yourself, trying to understand the wisdom that was given to you, I feel you're going to have a protective layer around you energetically. All of you. That's beautiful. We could sure use it. Look at her. And look at these people. They're like, can you turn off that light? You know, it's like, sir, I'm just standing here, right? So please do know that you are protected as you go through this process. You're a cute little egg. Why would God just leave you in your cute little egg stage without protection? So in this protection, Spirit is saying that in this orb, this field that's going to be around you, Spirit is saying it's not just protection, it's like they're saying, just like the yolk, there are going to be nutrients given to you. There are going to be epiphanies. You're going to come up with ideas. So I feel that maybe you guys should have some type of recording advice, a notebook, some of you, an audio recording of some sort. So just so when you get these snippets, write those things down, because you might be surprised later when you look back. You'll be like, holy moly, I was connected to something big. I didn't even know it. And that's true. You were. And you were learning, and you are learning, and you're reflecting as well. The card that I don't see on this table is the card of the Hermit. But I mean, right? It feels kind of like hermit-like, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be alone, guys. So maybe that's why the Hermit didn't necessarily come up. But it does mean you're going to be in a different state of being, a different state of mind. Remember, we saw a timeline shift. So for the fact that you went through a timeline shift, guys, I do want to say that that must have been some heavy stuff that you lost. This is if this reading resonates with you. If this reading doesn't resonate with you, then it's, God bless, it's not your reading for this month. But if it does, then you know you went through something. And it's funny because I'm not a Capricorn, and I don't believe that I have Capricorn in my chart, but I don't like to limit myself with those things. I feel that God talks through anything and anywhere. And so I feel that in these stories that are coming up here, I feel that I can relate to this one, because I remember one night after going through a really hard, dark tower moment back in August. No need to get back into it. In fact, I was thinking about it before this call, and I was upset. But anyway, I'm here. And I remember in the nights that followed, it's like being so shell-shocked, and I just remember one night waking up. I don't even know what time it was, but just waking up. And I woke up like a few times, and every time I'd wake up and then fall back asleep, it's like, huh? I'd look around, and then before I know it, I'd fall back asleep. But every time I looked up and I saw the ground, it would almost be like something new was there. Or one minute a bag was there, and the next minute a bag wasn't there. And then the next minute, like, my room looked a little different. And I know that it's like, wait a minute, Janelle, you know you were crazy because you were between sleep and wake, and you can't trust yourself. But sometimes during those moments between sleep and wake, you really can trust yourself. And of all the times that has happened to me in my life, where I've woken up and I've been disoriented, it never dawned on me in a way, and it never came to mind that it was a timeline shift. But in that moment, it did. Like the next day I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh my God, I think I shifted timelines. And what that means is that it's like, I think I woke up in the middle of seeing that shift happen. So every time my eyes opened, I was actively shifting into some different reality that was similar, but things had changed in the environment. And I wonder the next morning when I woke up, I wonder what changed. You know what I mean? And why? And without going into detail, I feel that whatever it was that I was going through, I always felt like it was a mistake that happened, like the person made a free will choice that they shouldn't have made, and it kind of changed contracts. I feel that Spirit had mentioned that would be beforehand, that could possibly happen, and I think that that's what happened. And I think that I just happened to be able to sense that shifting in that moment, and it woke me up. And either way, so I think I just got confirmation, because I literally just put my hands over my heart, and as I looked up, I saw this card, and this is exactly what I did, minus that happy smile, because it did not feel good. Anyway, and I try not to think about it too much, because I feel sometimes this incredible sense of injustice, and it's like, how could that have happened? Why did that happen? And I feel robbed of something. And sometimes when people make free will choices that do change contracts, and we've probably done it as well, sometimes we don't even notice that a shift has happened. has happened, but we may be left with feelings of injustice because there's this idea like, I really thought that this was going to happen and I was told, and now it's not happening, and all sorts of stuff. I mean, that's open to interpretation, but I do feel that for you guys, it's quite possible, if this reading is for you, that you may have gone through something as far back as August, but in the autumn months, that may have led to you feeling like you've lost something, something just slipped right through your fingers. Now, I could feel some of you like, well, could it have been in the winter? Like, what if it like happened like last month or this month? You know, sure, sure. I mean, right? Again, if you're directed to this reading, if you find yourself as, sorry, someone just called and it just knocked me out of my mind, what I was saying. What was I saying? I lost it. Sorry, guys. But anyway, maybe I was saying if you, I don't know, but let's just continue. Long story short, you may have gone through something really big, and okay. I actually had to pause. Let's continue. Sorry, guys. It's so rare that I get cut. But that phone call came in through my phone, and it like paused the recording, and it threw me off completely. But anyway, I'm sure you can fill in the dots. Let's continue with your reading. Where would I like to go next? Got it. Okay. So, yeah, so continuing the message, I do feel that something has been lost from you guys looking at this. And look at his face. His face is just like, I'm just seeing a lot of disappointment. A lot of disappointment and pouring out your dreams. Okay? In a sense, I'm feeling that for some of you, you may kind of be in this place where you're like, well, that ship has sailed. So it's interesting to know how you feel about the resurrection of some of these dreams, if those are possible at all. I am getting a cautioning here for you, that as you bury this past, as you bury this obstruction, as you move through it, it's quite possible that you still harbor resentments, anguish, anger, stress. Listen, I'm there with you, because look at this. See these 3 swords there? I'm still reeling from that August event, right? Look at these 3 swords. It reminds me of the 3 of Swords. And this 4th one tells me that this is definitely a time for rest. You know, the 4 of Swords is all about taking a rest. But notice this is the 10 of Swords. And in this card, the 10 of Swords, this person has literally died. I see in this card that you're putting to rest whatever this thing is. But the warning here is not to let these completely understandable feelings, these resentments, this anger, this stress, this whatever, these disappointments, don't let those things pop up and change your mindset. Don't let it change your attitude. So there may be moments when you guys get thrown into certain feelings and you kind of want to lash out and you start harboring resentments and allowing these things to come. I'm also seeing that what you need to do is just try to surround yourself with more gentle, general energy. I'm getting this idea of having general energy. For these months, these glacial months, where you're kind of just in your space, I don't want you to do anything too heavy. Don't feel like you've got to hone in and zone in on one person in particular. Be general. If you're going to go out with general friends, hang out in groups. Don't do anything too heavy in terms of relationships. No heavy lifting here. Because I think that if you do, it could get you into this place where a lot of you might start to like keep talking about whatever this obstruction was with people, keep delving into it. It's almost like if you keep having too many intimate encounters with others, it could keep triggering you in a way. So it's about achieving a place of peace. And I think I told you guys, was the Hermit card on here? It actually is. It's right here. I didn't look at that. I didn't see it. But the Hermit card is here. No wonder, because this is Hermit energy. So keep things as general as you can, basically. Look at these combination messages. These came out together, top and this. So as you have this transition, as you have let go of this thing, see that you're receiving something of value in return, okay? And know that one day, whatever it is that you're learning and that whatever it is that you're integrating is going to be used for somebody else one day. Take a look here. As he's disappointed and he's pouring out these dreams he had and there's bitterness in this card. There's also sadness and disappointment, frustration as well. I'm getting a lot of why me? Why is it always me energy? Why doesn't anyone ever love me? Why can't I hold on to something good? What's wrong with me? This must mean I'm not good enough, right? All these energies are in his face as he resigns to pour out this broken dream, this broken relationship, this thing that slipped right past him, right through his fingers. He looked up and it was gone, right? So as I'm seeing that, I'm seeing him have a tough shoulder, though. He's like, I've got a tough shoulder. And in a sense, it's almost like a chip on his shoulder as well. But take a look here. I'm also seeing martyr, poor me. Like, that's fine. I'll shoulder the blame if I have to. Fine, I'll do it, right? So be careful of those kinds of energies. Stay in the light. It's okay to have a pity party, but tell yourself, okay, pity party for 2 hours today. And that's, so for every 3 days, I'll give myself 2 hours over time or in one sitting to pity party it out, right? And do that so you're not allowing yourself to, oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry guys, it's late. So you're not allowing yourself to stay in that space for too long. Now, the lesson or the information coming in is that they don't want you to get lost in that. Instead, choose to see that what you have given up or what has been taken from you or what has been lost from you is bringing illumination at the same time. Right, you're giving it up for the sake of illumination, the sake of soul growth. They're also saying that yes, you're having to bury something. See how this guy in the black hair is just like miffed. He's not happy about it. But they're saying bury it in a clean way as much as you can. Bury it as cleanly as possible. In other words, make peace with it. So notice how these two scenes are both about burials. But in this one in the front, which is the actual Four of Swords taking a rest, right? And I told you this seems a little Four of Swordsy as well. There's some energy there about taking a rest. But they're saying here, count your blessings. When you put something to rest, you count your blessings, you have gratitude for it, and you allow it to come to its end. And that's what I'm seeing here that you have to do. That's their suggestion for working through these energies in the month of November and just generally over the next few months as you cycle these things out. Here, when they were warning us about going into patterns of thoughts and beliefs and lashing out in our anger, it's kind of a continuation of this Ten of Swords card here, where they're putting the corpse in the ground, but with bitterness and stuff. When you hold on to those energies, it leads you to lash out. We lash out when we don't feel that our needs are being met. And so, that being said, yeah, oh sweet. I'm just getting another energy coming in here. I think it's time to get a hot beverage. But either way, yeah, what happens is you lash out and you can end up hurting yourself. So they're saying, and hurting other people, I'm getting. So they're saying, oh God, that brings a whole new meaning to this when they're saying to keep your energies general. Don't focus on somebody too much. If you're in this pain, if you're too much in your pain, guys, first of all, know that I'm supporting you and I absolutely love you. If you need some words of encouragement, go ahead and leave comments on the page. I will definitely get to you. Maybe not the next day, but I'll get to you and I can support you in that way. But they're showing that some of you in all your pain, you might not be suitable for intimate encounters, in the sense like you might have your usual friend, you might want to hang around your sister or whatever because you know they help you feel better during this time. But what happens is that you can become a little bit abusive to them. You can lash out at them, maybe tell them things, maybe have a little edge to your voice, maybe you may not be the best of company. So they're showing that as you're in this hermit mode, maybe at least wait until you can see the snake, at least till you can discard of these energies that are overwhelming you, the bitterness, the resentment, those energies that would cause you to lash out and to act out, please be careful with that. Allow yourself to be in the hermit mode, at least until you can get a handle on that, because the last thing you want to do is hurt other people as you're going through your own grieving process and your own healing process. Now, what does that look like? It looks like something like you may be out with a group of great friends, or out with a really good friend and somebody who's just really trying to help you get through this time, but you may use them as a punching bag. You may be, have dark humor with them. You may be dry with them. Some of you, maybe, not seeing everybody, but especially, you might use somebody sexually for, in a kind of like, if this is you, you'll know if this is you. This is not everybody, but like sometimes when people are in pain, they use someone else sexually. Like they may, get intimate with them, and then they may treat them like a hoe, or like they treat them like, just some stripper in your bed, or just whatever. And it's like at the end, it's like you took something that could have been beautiful between you and somebody who's really kind and caring, and may actually be trying to offer you some comfort through their physical body, because they see you're in pain and you take advantage of that. So if that's you, definitely you need to be off the streets, boo. All right, you should not be on the market getting intimate with anybody, because you're just creating more pain around you. And that's what happens when we are in pain and we have energies like bitterness, feelings of injustice, resentments. Those three right there, dear God, that's enough, right? That's enough to cause you to be destructive to other people. This is not all of you, but in the month of November, it could be, an energy to watch out for. And yes, I'm hearing somebody asking, could we actually be turning that in ourselves as well? Yes, that's true. You could be self-destructive. You could be hurting yourself, right? In many ways, whether it's over drinking, whether it's going out and not giving yourself time to rest, whether it's using hurtful speech towards yourself, like you're so stupid. Why did I even let that happen? All sorts of stuff. Give yourself a break, guys. Yeah, so that's why they're saying keep your energies general. Don't try to harbor up with one person or anything, because if you're not the best company to be around, you could either serve to keep talking about it with this person and become a broken record and just create this energy around your connection where you're just always complaining and they're always listening and they're always trying to soothe you and you're always trying to be validated. And or you could actually lash out and hurt these other people, right? Or if you're more masochistic, you may end up gravitating towards people who just serve to put you down and help to validate these feelings of worthlessness within you. So they're saying don't get stuck in any one energy. Be general with your outings. See this? And just, see this person that just validates it. See this person, this Page of Swords? Look at his face. He's troubled. And these three people are coming towards him. And in here, we see it's very windy. We see it's windy. He's on unsteady ground. The question here is, what is he going to do with that sword? And who are these three people? Are these three people coming to be friends, in which he might use the sword on them and hurt them? Are these three people coming to be bullies and enemies, in which case he'll use the sword on himself in a masochistic way to allow these people to get him out of his center and validate these feelings of worthlessness? What is he going to do with this, right? Is he going to just focus on this sword and not even focus on these people, just ignore them because he's too caught up in his own stuff? Whatever it is, these birds are flying in, trying to reach him to give him this message before these people get here. So keep your energies general, okay? Keep your company general, that is, so that you can allow yourself to heal fully before you actually hurt yourself or other people. God bless you. All right, so let's go over here and look at these energies. All right, I'm seeing in this bottom row, these are some energies that you've inhabited or are inhabiting. These are the energies coming in. So let's take a look at this first one. We have the King of Pentacles. In this King of Pentacles, it always strikes me that he's overgrown with a lot of stuff. Look at this. He hasn't moved from in a while. He's plant life is, I'm seeing some bitterness. It's like he's like, look what I used to be. I used to be somebody. I used to be this. I used to be that. Just bitterness. Bitterness at this idea that God gave me something and now they took it away. I lost this thing, and there's a lot of bitterness there. The energy that I see coming in is this freshly cleaned up King of Pentacles, right? Looking at who he used to be. It's like he's done a hard day at work. This is the sober person now. This is the reconstructed person now. This is the rehabilitated person now. This is a person who's now healthy, just above the health line. And he's looking back at who he used to be. And he's realizing how unhealthy he was, how sad he was, how destructive he was. He just wasn't in a good place. He was working too hard towards something that wasn't good for him, right? He was listening to people who weren't good for him. I'm seeing, not to be graphic, but I'm seeing this person in a vagina, right? So he's like acknowledging people he slept with, that he wasn't good for. He wasn't good for them, and he led them astray from their path. He hurt them, but also he hurt himself, possibly with people he had no business being with, right? He wasn't a good friend when he was in this state. He should have been, now it looks like an ear. He should have been lending an ear to people, but instead he didn't. He, in fact, he overlooked the people who needed help when he was going through his stuff, because he was so caught up in his own pain. And on top of that, people who were trying to help him, he just became like this broken record and abused their ears with his stuff, right? So this is a person who's healthy now, looking at who he was. And this is the energy I'm feeling for you along with this. It's like this bitterness, like, oh, I'm so angry, I'm so royally upset. But I feel the energy shifting for a lot of you in the will center, and it's like this awareness just popped out of your heart in a second, as I was telling you this. So this is healing happening for a lot of you. Hearing this reading and this portion is giving you this idea of, oh my God, is that how I've been? Oh my God, that is how I've been. Oh my God, that's how I'm being. A lot of you may have known that on a conscious level, but to hear it said back to you in a sense through this reading, I think has cleared a lot of you up, because I'm feeling an energy clearing for you, and I'm seeing you kind of taking stock and ushering in now this energy that is going to be about healing. I'm seeing for a lot of you by the end of this cycle, remember it could go up until April even, and for the royally stubborn ones, May, but not longer than that. But it could be as soon as February, March, right? I'm seeing that you're going to be in this energy. Oops, yes, good, this energy. Now, let's look at this card, where you are right now, or, what energy I'm picking up. I'm picking up here that, excuse me, there are quite a few. Here it's an energy of taking a back seat in your life, just letting things happen. This could be, excuse me, I'm sorry. This could be you being disconnected from what's going on. This also looks like you fighting yourself, right? And part of you refusing to see this. This could be denial. Whatever it is that your mental state is in, this indicates a problem, and it indicates inactivity. But look at this. This is the energy that will come in, right? I'm seeing you, male, female, being the Queen of Wands, being very delightful, being very, like, I'm still seeing a little bit in her eyes, like, that's right, I'm just going to give you enough rope for you to hang yourself with. So there's still a little bit of, I wouldn't say anger and bitterness. It seemed a little sadistic there for a second, but it's in a better state of mind, because now she's more aware of herself. She's come through something, there are some things that you will still be dealing with. I'm seeing that here. I'm seeing the cat is kind of like, hey man, is your guide. We got to continue on with these lessons. And part of you may be still kind of blocking it out, but this is a lot different than this energy. This energy is completely shut down, in denial, not wanting to budge, fighting against yourself, being an enemy of the world. Some of you may already have worked through this and may be closer to this, right? But this is the energy that I'm seeing coming in, which is being more awake, more aware of what your surroundings are, aware of who you are, and very much having a victory, right? In some sort of overcoming some stuff, being more conscious. Now, the third card of the energy that I'm seeing is this Knight of Wands, he's like rash, but he's digging himself in. This is the self-destructive energy that I'm picking up for some of you. Maybe some of you may be further along on this process, but I'm just seeing this very self-destructive energy, digging your heels in, knowing that, for example, I'm seeing someone knowing that you're being a D, you know, to other people, being a dick, you know, I'm just going to say it, to other people, and being mean to other people, but you're digging your heels in, and part of you, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, is carrying this energy like, yeah, I'm being a dick, but you know what, everyone else was being a dick to me, so it's my turn. It's that kind of energy, and I see that a little bit still in her eyes, remember, in that energy. But this card over here speaks to making a journey with respect to I just saw 19 minutes 19 seconds, yeah, making a journey with respect to denial, and how much you're willing to see about your pain and about yourself, right? But in this energy is just royally like a big D. And again, not the kind of D that we all love, right? Well, that some of us love, you know, God bless. But I'm just seeing this. It's like high and mighty in being mean and just having that energy. And you know where that energy is coming from? It's pain. Unrecognized, unhealed, invalidated pain. We need to have ourselves witnessed, right? We need our pain to be witnessed. Like, I went through something. Somebody hear that. You know, somebody love me. Somebody show me. Where's my justice card? In this whole spread, where's the justice card? That's the kind of energy, right? And when we sit in that energy and we don't get our acknowledgement, we don't have people coming up to us and really meaning it and saying, you know what, I see you, and I see that you went through some bullshit, and you know what, that was some bullshit, and if you were my daughter, I would have protected you, and if you were my sister, I would have said something. If you were Beyonce and I was Solange, I would have kicked his ass in that elevator up and down the street, okay? And you know, that, like, where's my person to say that kind of stuff? That's the energy that is inside of you, that if left untreated turns to bitterness and anger and anguish and pain, and it turns to meanness, because it's like, nobody looked out for me, so I'm going to look out for myself, right? So now I'm going back to this card here, because I was wondering why we saw it, because this speaks about a relationship that merits caution, right? And I was like, but wait, this thing already has left. You know, this is something, it's a past energy that I'm getting that we're still dealing with in the month of November, that we're wandering through and we're reflecting on, and we're looking at our perceptions. This is a past energy that we're now reflecting upon. But now as I'm going into these cards here, I'm starting to see, this is why Spirit is talking about this. They're saying put love first. Even in your pain, love, right? What was it? Our lovely Mother Teresa, was it her treatise or her poem on kindness? I don't remember the words, but it's kind of like, if the world treats you badly, be kind. Or be compassionate. It's just all about still doing your best to to produce kindness, and because you have no control over anybody else. The only thing you can control is how you react to things, and it's how you treat others. That's it. But when we're in so much pain, it just becomes all that harder. And so this card is coming through to caution us about our expression and how we are treating others as we go through this November month, and as we go through the next few months in our healing process. So, but this is the energy for a lot of you that I'm picking up. Now, what's coming in, though, is this road, the road to riches, so to speak. It's this divine opportunity. It looks like a bait and switch in a sense. Like, you think you're getting this, but when you cross through that little that little trellis there, it's like you get something even better. It's soul growth. It's something even more magnificent than what it is you think you're working towards. So I'm seeing that you'll be in this energy, but as time goes by, you'll start to work towards something amazing. You'll be honing. Look at this. Remember, this is the completion of that process. Here you are on earth as this Buddha, carrying this new wisdom, fully integrated, fully transformed, fully transmuted. Look at that. It's like this. You'll be that, right? And so that's a beautiful energy, because what I'm seeing here is these three energies that you guys So again, some of you may be experiencing these energies to lesser degrees, right, than they're being presented here, and that just goes to show you how much time has passed and how much you've grown and you've evolved and whatever, you've healed. That's the word, healed. But I'd love to see that we're having a transition from here to here. And I'm getting in the month of July for some reason. Why is July coming up, God, for some of us? I'm hearing July is full pandemonium. Why is it pandemonium? And this, in one sense, I'm hearing it's full pandemonium because you're up and ready to go. Everything that you've worked towards, you're ready. You're putting your foot down. You're making a stamp on the world. You are out there working. You're helping other people. You're in full swing. And pandemonium, in that sense, is not a negative word, right? Now, I'm seeing here in the Hierophant card, though, for some of you or somebody here in July, there might be some kind of test coming in for you. It could be the return of this person in the past. Now, maybe if this is relationship or whatever this activity is that slipped through your hands. I'm seeing music for somebody, a music career or a music opportunity that didn't pan out. Whatever this is, it might come back around to you in the month of July. But there's a warning here. It's a test. And I think the test is, how are you, and they're giving this to you before you get into this glacial period, right? So be mindful. How are you going to greet this new thing? I mean, this thing coming in again. Could be a new thing for some of you, but it'll feel like the old thing. Whatever it is, there's going to be a test of some sort. And, you know, whenever we go through these big lessons, we always get tested. We may not, we may not know it. Sometimes they'll whisper it to us, oh, that was a test. You're like, what? Right? But there will be a test of some sort. How will you approach that? And I'm seeing, as it stands right now, a lot of you, I'm still feeling this energy of bitterness and anger and wanting to get back at this person. That's what I'm getting in this face. It's like, oh, now you're back. All right. Well, now I'm really going to unleash on you what I wanted to before and I couldn't. You know, it's kind of like that energy for some of you. And some of you will, you'll play, but it's almost like giving them just enough rope for them to hang themselves with and using some mind games. If this is sounding like something that you're doing now and a way that you're being now or that you were in this other connection, because I feel that for some of you, this connection is one that you gave away through your negative behavior to somebody and it slipped right through your hand. Because of that, maybe you hurt somebody else, right? So I'm seeing Spirit saying that they're giving you this heads up. If and when this person comes back, what month is this? November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. No wonder, okay? Because I'm seeing a number 8 here, 8 months. If and when somebody comes back, right? Are you going to get sucked into this portal again with this person and get hurt or hurt them now? Or are you going to choose to rise above? This is clearly a test, guys. Definitely a test. And why does the teacher tell us? Why does the teacher ever tell us about a test coming up? It's so you can work on it. So you can be more targeted in your approach. Don't sit on your laurels, guys. Don't sit on your heels and rest on your laurels and think, I got this in the bag. No, because sometimes when a teacher tells us about a test, yes, it is to light a fire under us so that we can study and practice, but it's also because we're not worried as teachers that you are going to cheat in any way, because when the test comes, you may not know it's a test. It's going to sneak up on you maybe, right? So expect the unexpected. So they're releasing you, right? And you've released this thing already, but I do feel that it's going to come back to you in some way. If it's not the same person, it's going to come back to you in some way, and you're going to have a test to see what you've learned. What is the product of what you've learned? Because you're learning right now. Pulled the next card. It's the devil. So it wants to kind of come out upside down, though. But then again, it also wants to go right side up, because I'm feeling the energy like shift. I guess it's up to you what you do with that. So as I'm reading this, I'm picking up on some energies. Some of you on this call, if this resonates with you, you were the one who was hurt. You made, now I'm hearing you made a mistake. Wow. throughout this reading, it really felt like for some of you, somebody else hurt you, somebody else walked away from you, and it's quite possible, but we have to understand that so many people watch these readings. For the rest of you, if this reading resonates with you, I feel that you may have hurt somebody. There was trickery involved here. You may have hurt somebody, and you may have caused them to walk away, or you just whatever. Remember, we do have some cross watchers on here as well, but I definitely feel some trickery coming in for some people connected to this call. I think someone connected to this call, whether it's whether this information is for you, cross watcher, and this is information being presented about the person that you were with, who may be the Capricorn, who knows, right? Whatever. Or just anyone if it resonates with you, but I'm feeling that there could have been manipulative energy here, like somebody taking advantage of a really good connection that they had with somebody. Oh, this person's always going to do what I want. Now do what I want, right? I'm seeing like that emotional manipulation. Whoever it is that did that, they clearly they need healing, but I'm also picking up that whoever it is that I'm seeing a twin situation for some of you right now, clearly, because it's pointed towards my twin crystals. So my crystals, hi twinnies, oh cute. They want to come into the reading now just to show us that there could be some twin energy going on here. Whoever it is that did this is in need of healing, right? But also whoever went through this is also in need of healing. So yeah, I'm seeing being left out in the cold. I'm seeing going into this hermit situation. Remember, there's a lot of messages down here for us about being in the hermit mode and not getting too deep with people. Because look, this could be you, cross watcher, whoever it is. I'm seeing this black dog being this person who was hurt, and the hermit being the person who did the hurting. So notice that as the person who was left out in the cold, if this is your person's journey where they hurt somebody and now they are going in and they're learning and they got some wisdom because that relationship or that connection slipped through their hands and they're going through some learning, and this is clearly them needing to make this journey here, and I feel that energy here. Whoever that is, you person who was hurt, they're asking you to take a step back. I know it still hurts, that God is going to be loving you and caring for you, but see this, you can't allow yourself to get into that position again and be hurt by somebody. Now, if you were hurt at all, whether you're Capricorn or not, whether you're cross watcher or not, if you're resonating with this card and this energy of being hurt and having been shed some blood, for some of you I'm seeing willingly, you're putting your wrists out to this person, right? You cannot do that. Spirit is saying you cannot allow yourself to be naked in front of somebody who doesn't understand how to care for the human body. Let this person go as they go through their lessons. Look, they're like, hey, and you're like, no, I can't. I need to protect myself now. This is that energy. You have to do that. So as this person is in their hermit mode and working on themselves, you can allow your spirit to be there with them. God bless. If you love them that much, or your higher self loves them that much, especially in the case of a twin, you guys are never actually separated, right? You have to move forward with yourself, though. See here, your twin, especially if this is a twin situation, your twin is going through heavy transition. Be with them in spirit, but you in the physical, you need to be apart from them. And you can be with them in spirit. They're your shoes. Notice the color, the gray, the black, the black. Be together in spirit for each other. But it's too self-destructive. Too destructive. Yeah, self-destructive for this person. But too destructive for you to be in. So that message may very well be for some twins who are watching. Yeah, I'm seeing that there was some deep injury in that case. And a lot of energies at play here. But for self-preservation, you have to move on, right? For right now. There's going to be another test I'm hearing coming up. But the test is going to be one where we could see if some lessons have been learned. Interestingly, no wonder this message is coming in, because the card at the bottom of the deck that I didn't bring into the reading was the Lover's card. So this is definitely relating to a relationship, this reading is, okay? But I'm seeing that there's going to be a test coming in. Because this person, whoever it is that's going through this transition, I'm seeing this growth period that's going to be for the next few months, I'm seeing they're going to be dealing with themselves. Usually the Seven of Wands speaks of guarded energy, blah, blah, blah. But this, as I'm seeing it, rings to me with the energy, the conflict energy of the Five of Wands. And it shows somebody really, I guess somebody really getting in there with themselves, combating themselves, learning to know themselves. And as they're doing that, this person who seems a lot weaker cannot be around this self-destructive force. All these people are this person fighting themselves. That's all they're doing. So you're going to have to remove yourself from their field so that they can duke it out with themselves. And there will be a test for them later. I'm seeing victory of some sort, but later in 8 months from now, I really feel in July, there's going to be a final test. There's going to be an exam here. And for this person, did they learn? Is this truly a hard-won victory, a lesson learned? Or is this someone who didn't learn the lesson? They're like, haha, I got your swords, you plebe, you knaves, like whatever. So please rest assured that this is a process that needs to be happening. And it's going to be a beautiful awakening process in many ways. But there will be a test in the end to see what residual energies are still remaining. Alrighties? All right. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this reading right now and say God bless you guys. So let's let Spirit come in and work magic for this connection that I'm seeing here. This partnership, whatever. Ooh, it's funny. The card wanted to end up here on this card. Remember, this card is it always speaks to me about the other side and a spirit wanting to achieve some kind of lesson or some kind of learning before they come in. I'm seeing that. So this is all in the name of learning. Amen. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much once again for being patient for your reading, and just know that everything is always on time. All right. God bless you. Mwah. Have a wonderful November. Bye.